Hello, everyone, and welcome to meet the race directors for the Chuckanut 50K coming up. I'm going to keep admitting people to into the session here, but just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Christian Salcedo from Endurance HQ. We're hosting this call with Krissy, Tyler, and Kevin. Just to give you guys some information and also to let you ask some questions. So if you have a question, everybody's muted right now. You can either raise your hand. There's a way to do that. I think it's under the React menu, or you can ask me to unmute. There's a thing that says ask the host to unmute, and I can do that. So with that, I will hand it over to Krissy.
Right on. And we'd love to see all your faces if it works on your end, but also totally fine if you want to stay behind the scenes. We'll rattle through quickly the um, just the housekeeping, race weekend schedule, those kind of things. Mostly just wanting to get to your questions at the end of all of this. This is the 31st running, the 33rd year. Tyler and Kevin have been on this team for 9 years. We were counting earlier today, and this is my 23rd year as race directing the Chuckanut 50K. We teamed up with Christian and Endurance HQ this year, and it's been really cool to have the advances of technology. But this race started with a clipboard and like signing people's names in with times at the end. So there's been a lot of evolution over the years. We will have live tracking this year through Active Track. We just posted an update about that. It went live yesterday morning, so please read those details. If not your normal,
smack your butt so hard, it's gonna come at you.
it's not your normal live stream, as you become accustomed to with UTMB and some of the other big races are Vipa. This will be different cameras around the course, and you get to tailor your experience, or not you, because you'll be running, but the people that are watching you can find you on the different cameras around the course. So it'll be a different experience for the viewers. There's more information on the recent race update. And Kevin and Tyler interrupt me at any point if I'm skipping over details, and we'll keep you guys going. For the race week schedule, for those of you here in Bellingham, you can pick up your packet at Fairhaven Runners starting on, we say Monday morning. We'll have them there Sunday afternoon, just can't guarantee what time. So Monday through Friday. Friday, we pick them up there around 2 p.m. and then take them over to Prime Sports Institute. And that's where our massive packet pickup is. You'll get access to the Prime Recovery Center. Prime Sports Institute is a local medical facility operated by athletic trainers. To look into that for some more information on being there. So Friday night, we will be there from 4 to 7 with Bib and Packet Pick. Our sponsors will have representation there, so you can grab all of their extra goodies. We do not pre-pack bags. We ask you to bring a bag and pick up the things that you will use. I don't like sending out wasteful extras that you just end up putting in the recycle bin. So come with your own canvas bag, fill it up. There's usually tons of great stuff. Every year is different. We do ask you to verify your name if you have somebody else picking up, like either send a note, something like that. And big thing this year is we've required donation to a trail organization or 4 hours of trail work. We have about half the field that has not yet reported that. And so we're sending out a lot of emails. Big error on my it was my fault last night that I sent an error out to, or I sent messages out to some people that had already reported. So I'm cleaning up that mess, but just make sure that anybody that's watching this, that you have reported your donation or trail work. I don't want to tell anybody no. This is the first year we've required it, and I want to make sure everybody's on the start line. Saturday morning, packet pickup. If you were not able to get your bib prior, we'll start at 6:15 in Fairhaven Park. The shuttles from the Western Washington parking will start at 5:30. I will confirm that, but shuttles will start at 5:30. We'll get you over there right around 6:30, 6:15, and they'll be looping that to pick people up and to take your crews back to cars after. We'll have packet pickup right up until the start. try and cut it off by 7:45. There's a 7 a.m. early start for those of you that would like an extra hour on the course. We just ask that you email me ahead of time so we can have a list ready to go. And then the mass start is at 8 o'clock. And this year we have increased the field size again. Last year was the biggest field we've ever had at 598 runners. And this year our permit is for 750 and we're currently at 800. So we'll see how the numbers fall. We do have a high attrition rate being such that we are a race in March in the Pacific Northwest. It takes a hardy soul to get out of bed when the rain is pounding on the roof. So we hope everybody makes it. So it will be a bigger start. And if we are feeling like we need to do waves, we will decide that the week of. Currently, we plan to do a mass start. Depends on how many early start. And then the race course closes at 4 p.m. So you've got 8 hours to do it, 9 hours if you start at 7 a.m. And there's, let me just skipping ahead to make sure I've got everything. At the finish line, you'll be greeted by our sponsors, food trucks. On your race bib, there is a ticket for an $8 meal voucher, which will cover a meal at one of our food trucks. And then they take cash pay or credit cards or whatever you want if you need a little bit more in your tank after that. The shuttles will be running to get people back to Western. Course closes at 4, and then our post party starts here. Chad Pouley was in here. The owner of Wander is hosting us today, and they are also hosting our post party. Have for, you haven't counted, lots of years now. We've been here. Yeah, so it's equal. So it'd be 9 years now that we've been at Wander. And last year, we partnered with them and they made us a Chin Scraper IPA, and it was just for the 30th anniversary. But this year they ran it again. So Tyler's screen showing the IPA, and it's kind of like a hazy, it's not super bitter, lovely post race drink. So hopefully you guys can come check that out. Wander is also hosting a tent at the finish line, and they will be serving Patagonia Provisions non-alcoholic beers. So there's some bubbles waiting for you at the finish line, and then follow up imbibes here. And coffee, that's right. Chad is also the owner of Rome, which is a coffee shop by Wander, and he is providing all the coffee at the finish line for runners, volunteers. He brings coffee for the volunteers in the morning. And speaking of sponsors, we've got an awesome list once again: Patagonia, Scratch Labs, Fairhaven Runners, Wander Brewing, Rome by Wander, Scarpa Footwear, Cool Chocolates, Edward Jones, financial advisor, Kelsey Clevenberg. He's a local here that is a big fan of the race, so he's jumped in to help sponsor, which is super awesome. Patagonia Provisions, Aspire Running, Ultraspire, and our local community co-op helps make sure that we have a lot of good food on the course for you guys. Quick note about Scratch. Scratch is providing hydration drink, chews, and bars. We do not have gels on the course. Just to make clear for the runners, a lot of times we've become accustomed to having gels to grab at aid stations. There is not that form of fueling at our aid station. So chews, bars, and their hydration drink. They will also have recovery drink at the finish line, and those are super delicious. Any questions? So should we interrupt questions, or should I rattle through anything else?
I think
And
maybe
does that bring up any questions for anybody? Oh, keep rattling. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. And then
hang in there. I'm going fast. There's not much more. Yeah, sorry, is in your hand. Prime Sports Institute is our lead medical. And so this year, it's with having the larger field and the sport growing so fast, we've leveled up year after year, but this year felt intense. And I've driven around the course. We have evac points noted for Carrie and I to have in tune so we can quickly get to an emergency situation if there needs to be. Your bib numbers will have her direct phone line on there, a reminder for 911, and my phone number on the back. So depending on the level of emergency, we ask you to make that decision. And 911's number 1, Carrie's number 2, I'm number 3. So if it's something that our race medical can support in, we'll be there. If it needs to be an emergency, please call 911. I'd rather Carrie deal with all medical. She's an athletic trainer, massage therapist, trained in quick response, and we want to make sure that you guys are totally taken care of on race day. And they also host an amazing recovery at the finish line, Normatec boots, massage therapists, So as you cross the finish line, I'd say put your name on their list and then go get your food and then get in for that like quick recovery right after the event. We have all this information detailed out. Carrie sat side by side with me on our health and safety plan, which is on the website on one of the pull down menus for race information. So please be sure to review that. I've already made the comment about the donations and trail work being required this year. I don't want to have to turn anybody away. So please get those reports in, whether you fill out the Google form that's linked on our website or directly email me your donation receipt. Much appreciated. We've already raised over, or I shouldn't say we've raised, because of everybody filling the requirement for, there's been over $20,000 donated, and I haven't counted the hours yet. So we're making a huge impact, which that's like the most exciting part. And remembering that these places that we spend amazing time training, we also need to be giving back to those. When it comes to the aid stations, we wanted to make sure, oh, got it. I just saw a question on the chat. Any chance gels could be provided? I tried the Tuesday and found it possible to get the calories in that I need. We are not going to be able at this point to provide gels. We work with a sponsor that's very generously supporting the race. There is a way to do their high carb drink in a gel form. You can make your own, or I highly recommend carrying what you need on the course. Putting however many hours worth of gels in your waist pack or pack is, I feel, totally doable, and we can top you off with water or electrolyte drink as needed. But just so you know, the course will have chews, bars, and hydration drink, along with fare from like all the co-op and cookies and pretzels. We haven't done that buy yet. There'll be fruit. Pretty standard fare. PB&J has been a thing we've had out there. So I will update the website with the exact foods that we are going to have at the aid stations once we do that buy and that shop. And then I wanted to get into aid stations. Our aid stations, we have an amazing team that comes out year after year, lots of repeat aid station captains. Aid Station 1, which is in the Lost Lake parking lot, about mile 6 of the race, is hosted by Walla Trails and community captain is Gretchen Walla. Aid Station 2 is after you drop off $2 onto Cleator Road. It's hosted by the Bellingham Distance Project, captained by Alicia Browder. Top of Cleator Road, Seattle Running Club, Chris Hoffman is running Aid Station 3. I want to point out that there is, for previous runners or people that have run in the last like 5 to 10 years, there is not going to be an aid station at the end of the ridge. There has been like a water stop that's somewhat evolved to an aid station sometimes. So this year, that aid station is not planned to be in place. If for some reason we had crazy snow and we can't access the ridge, we would move aid stations, and that could be a potential spot. But the current plan is no aid station at the bottom of the ridge. So when you leave Aid Station 3, the top of Cleator Road, you need to have enough fuel and hydration to get you around to Chin Scraper. Aid Station 4, hosted by the Bellingham Triathlon Club. Glenn Gervais is the aid station captain. So that's about 6 miles, but they're the slowest miles of the course because you're traversing the ridge. You've got South Lost Lake, potential mud, and then making your way back down around before you climb the 1 mile up to Chin Scraper. Just wanted to make sure to point that out. And then when you make your way back up to the top, back down, Fragrance Lake Trail, Walla Trails and Community, Gretchen Walla and her team, costumed out. They have a really cool theme this year. We'll be at the bottom of Fragrance Lake Trail, where you meet the interurban. So they will have moved the aid station to greet you right on the interurban to send you back north to Fairhaven Park, where we'll be waiting for you at the finish line. Something list of preferred local nonprofits to count for the donation. That is listed on our website. So there's donation orgs that we've recommended: Runners for Public Lands, Washington Trails Association. There's one more on there: Girls on the Run. Whatcom YMCA, Girls on the Run are the 3 that we have recommended. But I've received amazing donations from people that have clubs in their areas. You can volunteer at races and put in your hours. So we want to tie our runners back to giving back to the community. That's the goal of requiring the donation the donation is actually a substitute if you can't do trail work. I would prioritize the trail work, but I realize some of us don't have time. So a donation is a way to make up for that. So the aid stations, we went through some key points on the course. I got out and ran most of the middle 18 this morning, and the trail this week, 2 weeks out, is in incredible shape. There's a couple trees that are down that I've pinned that I'm hoping our trail crews can get out of the way, but it is beautiful, knock on wood. I'm like so superstitious. It's in great shape right now. I hope it'll still be that way in 2 weeks when you all make your way out into the Chuckanut. We talked about a little bit about safety. The one thing I wanted to prioritize to our runners is that we will do our best to get to you. There are some access points on this course that will take hours to get in, especially if it comes to having to get whether vehicles or dollies, if it's a serious emergency. So we need all of our runners to be able to take care of themselves for a duration of time. I can't say how long. I'm hoping it's like minutes and not hours, but if it's 40 degrees and raining, that is probably my worst nightmare as a race director, thinking about somebody having to sit on the end of the ridge waiting for help. So I hope that, my intention, and I will make required gear necessary if needed because of the concern of people coming off the ridge. But we just ask that you have what you need in your pack. We're not going to make it mandatory. At this point, we won't do gear checks unless we're in dire conditions. But ask that you have that in place and then take those steps to make sure that you communicate to our medical team. And then the final thing is, if you do have to drop in terms of safety, you need to either alert an aid station captain or Pacific Multisports, who is our finish line timer. Those are it, like aid station captain or Pacific Multisports. We've spent sometimes a good hour after the race calling emergency contacts for runners that did not tell us they dropped. And thankfully, in 23 years of race directing, I've never had an emergency. It was just somebody forgot to tell me. But after being up at 4 a.m. to make those calls to say, please, let me know that you're okay. It'd be nice to get that hour back. So please just let us know if you have to drop by telling aid station captain or our finish line Pacific Multisports timing. Fun stuff. All of those sponsors that we rattled off earlier, there's a $3,000 prize purse, and we divvy that up between male, female, and non-binary. And there's also a course record bonus if anybody's going for that. Currently, Francesco Pupi last year set the course record in 3:26:31. The female course record has stood since 2013 at 4:01:23, and I have lots of fun stories about that one. And then the non-binary record was set in 23 by Joey Salen at 5:39:20. So those are all up for the $200 bonus on top of if you won in course record time, that adds $200 to your winnings. I think I made it through in record time, 18 minutes. That's a lot of talking.
I thought maybe you would answer some questions that might be out there. So does anybody else have any questions for the RDs? No. Amazing. Everybody's ready to roll.
Right. Anybody want to hear about the course today? It was so beautiful.
Yeah, tell us about the course and tell us the story about the course record.
Oh, Jody's time. I'll start with that one because it's a super fun story. But Jody, she was a racer that would run as hard as she could from the gun, or she probably still is. She hasn't raced in recent years, but and she just hoped that the finish line came first. So she had this ability to push. And I really think that's what it's going to take to break that record. Great conditions, great course conditions, and being able to be gutsy from the start. I was in my competitive days, a very conservative runner, and found myself at the finish, catching along the way. That girl came through in one of the lead positions at the first aid station. And I was like, oh, girl, can you carry this? And it's pretty impressive to watch that time go. And we've had people attempt on it. Keely Henninger has made the biggest, multiple attempts on it. And she's like, where do I find those minutes? Where, like, I don't see where else I can run any faster to catch that time. So I appreciated that about her. Um, course course information.
We have
Oh,
we do
porta
have a
potties on the course.
question.
That's a great question.
Yeah,
Is that what you saw? The porta potties?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. We will have porta potties at the start finish in Fairhaven Park. There is a pit toilet at the first aid station at Lost Lake parking lot. There are not porta potties until you get back to the finish line after that. So we ask runners to use the leave no trace, get off the trail at least 20 feet, dig a hole if that's what you're needing to do, cover it up. I was at 6 inches deep. I was at the High Lonesome 100 this year, and there's this new brand called Pact, Pact, and they have wipes that are biodegradable and pills that you can throw in the dirt that are mushroom spores that help compost your solid waste, if you will, in the ground and help encourage that process. So if you feel like that there might be an issue on a course, I highly recommend that product. I've been using it backpacking since. I'm really impressed by it. Any guidance for friends? And oh, sorry, are there any sections with snow left? Nope, totally clear. Right now, the course is clear. There is weather looking like it's coming in next week. So I will tell you multiple times, like, the weather's the only thing we cannot predict or like schedule. We can plan for it, so we do our best to plan for it. Oh, another puppers just showed up. I love seeing the doggos. So yeah, currently no snow and very little mud. Like, it's one of those years, if it stays like this, I'll look at your legs and be like, did you sure you ran the course? There's no mud. Or those old timers that have been running the event forever, they say this isn't a true Chuckanut year. It's not muddy. So we'll see what we get.
Hey, Krissy.
Yeah.
Isn't there a bathroom at the top of Cleater? Or is that closed?
You're right. There is a pit toilet at the top of Cleater. So when you come off after climbing Chin Scraper, there is a pit toilet at the top of Cypress. You won't see it on your way out to the ridge. You could run up to the top of the road and then come back to do the ridge, but you will run right by it when you come off of Chin Scraper. Thanks, Kevin. Good call.
So we have a question about, any guidance for friends and families who want to come out. Are they limited to aid stations, other recommended spots? This also ties into another question that Tyler asked about crew only being able to aid at first and last aid stations. So can crew hang out to other aid stations and cheer as long as they don't provide aid?
That's all said just correctly. We allow crews at aid station 1-5, and running on the course today, I proved my point. I was running with a dear friend. Shout out to Desiree for making it around the loop with me this morning. She and I came out of the Osiris around the corner, and there was a car barreling up Cleater Road that we both jumped in the ditch to avoid. And that is why I don't want cars on Cleater Road on race day. So we can't prevent the public from going up there. We have said no crews because the massive cars, especially with 750 runners, I can't hold that liability. I want you guys all to be safe out there. But if your crews are able to get up there on their own, like if they want to hike or run or bike, however you want to, they want to get up there to cheer. The reason we ask them not to crew up there is that's not fair for all of the runners. So if you're up there, we ask you to cheer for everybody and let the aid stations take care of the runners' needs along the way. If you want to crew them, you can, exchange their pack or take a bottle or whatever at aid station 1, which is in the Lost Lake parking lot, or at aid station 5, which you'd have to hike to either from the Lost Lake parking lot or from Chuckanut Drive. There's a couple access points that can get you up there. And those directions are on the website. Oh, live stream. Yeah. And we said live stream will be different this year. Live stream will happen this year. That's one. That's new. And then the way it's being done is not like the live streams you become accustomed to in the ultra running world. This one has cameras posted at 7 different spots around, I think it's 7 spots around the course, and the viewers will be able to pick which camera they want to watch. So they can track you because there's tracking along as well. And then they can pick the camera to see you run by. We will have two announcers. Jeff Fisher is returning to announce the finish line, and my partner Guy Tucker is going to pick up a mic. Megla Lennox has also helped out. So we'll have these different voices on the live stream, but they won't be narrating the race. They will be telling you things that are happening at the event. So they'll bring your viewers into the event, but not in a narrating, just following the elites. The live stream will cover the entire field. And so viewers from home can watch you and not just who the cameras, well, not cameras just following elites. The cameras are stationary and they pick up runners as you run by. You will get a slap bracelet at the start of when you pick up your bib, you'll get a slap bracelet for the live tracking that can be worn around your wrist. It can be secured to the outside of your pack, but not in your pack and not around your ankle. That will be rehashed when you pick up your bib. But the slap bracelet is what will allow your people from home to view you on course. This is the first time we've done it, so fingers crossed it all works well. We got a grant from the city of Bellingham this year that's allowing us to pay for Endurance HQ and pay for this tracking. So we're hopeful that those things will be like a huge bonus to the people viewing at home and you guys while you're on course. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have a lot more actually. Will there be extra race t-shirts for purchase if they were not pre-ordered?
A few, and the reason there are, so when registration is open, we offer the shirts for sale. I'm a person that's had way too many shirts stacked in my closet as racing over the years, and so I want you to choose to buy it. The reason we will have some left over, or people that have had to drop out of the race have opted to give the shirt back to the race so that we can sell it to another runner. So I can't guarantee sizes, and the funds just help put on this event. So there should be some, I just can't guarantee sizes. My mom has sold these shirts for the last, I don't know, Moehl's been selling shirts for a really long time. So she's the one you have to negotiate with. And she's now 77 and sassy as ever. So good luck.
And Tyler, I saw you responded, but Camille was asking about getting confirmation on the Google sheet about doing their trail work. Do you want to just mention the error that happened and why some people got it that had done it?
Right. My bad. Tyler and I were working with the spreadsheet and I sorted it instead of filtered it and accidentally re-scrambled the formula. So I got an email that had already sent me their receipts. So I am still confirming and affirming, like if you want to double check, please, it's my fault that I sent that out. We did send another email to the accurate list of people. So if you received it twice, then you definitely have not yet reported. If you received the one that says, I'm sorry if this is the second time you received this, that's the one that you need to those people need to respond. Hope that makes sense what I just said.
Like we have like 20 something more on the board.
Oh, people are putting their trail work hours on there. Awesome. I'm excited to tally that up. I said earlier, we've already seen $20,000 donated because of this requirement. So I'm stoked to see trail orgs supported that way. And I geek out on that stuff. So we'll be running reports on how much money went to different orgs and reporting what the Chuckanut 50K runners did this year.
Another swag question and bib pickup. Lucas is asking if what days you can pick up your bibs, and is the black sweatshirt you're wearing for sale?
Oh, right. This is a special one-off for the race director. I love this sweatshirt. We do have a cool special swag item, again, provided by, Active Track, the guy that printed this for me and the guys being Tyler and Kevin, our co-RDs, who are also on here. I'm doing all of the talking right now, but Tyler and Kevin are key in how this event comes together. Tyler ran our volunteer meeting an hour ago, and Kevin ran our volunteer meeting. Tyler is making sure all the tech works while I sit here and yammer. Active Track made really cool hats that have the view of Cyrus Overlook behind the Chuckanut 50K logo. There are only 200 of those that he'll be selling that day. Packet pickup on Friday night, and if there's any left over on Saturday morning. So that's a new thing. We haven't had swag in addition to the shirts in previous years. But we are really excited about our finishers prize this year. Should we tell them? Nope, it's a surprise.
Nope.
Oh, mass start. Right now we have an early start at 7 a.m. and depending on how many people email and me to let me know that they're early starting, we will take that number, figure out our mass start, and if it needs to be divided into 2 waves, we will. Currently, we're planning on a mass start. It's wide open trail, like road that leads you out of Fairhaven Park. There is the pinch point at the bridge just at the bottom when you cross over to get towards the inner urban. So careful there. But once you're on the inner urban, it's 6 miles of double track all the way down to the first aid station. So we think that's plenty of space for people to not have to gun it off the start and have plenty of space to spread out before they start the climb to Fragrance Lake. But Fragrance Lake Trail is also rather wide. So it's a accommodating course for this many runners. Oh, yeah. There in the chat, there's a question about bib pickups. So we drop the bibs and shirts off at Fairhaven Runners sometime on Sunday. Can't guarantee whenever we finish getting them sorted. And then, so packet pickup, we say, is Monday through Friday at Fairhaven Runners during their open store hours. They run that. And then on Friday, we grab all of those around 1:30 and bring them over to Prime Sports Institute where we have our fast kind of little festival piece, if you will. You get to experience Prime Sports Institute. Parking for that is either at Bellingham Fitness or across the street. And then we'll put you through Prime Sports Institute. You can interact with all of our sponsors. Whatever shirts are left over will be there for sale. These hats from Active Track will be for sale. You'll get swag from the sponsors. We ask you to bring your own bag. We don't pre-pack bags because I don't want to send you home with a bunch of paper and junk that you won't use. And so come collect the things that you will use. And then we also have bib and shirt pickup on Saturday morning. So all of the cool swag stuff is not available at Fairhaven Runners or on Saturday morning. We use that to try and get you there Friday night to come visit us and make sure we get your bibs to you the night before rather than kind of in that rushed, chaotic thing of race morning. We're caught up? We're caught up, yes. Cool, and we're only a half an hour in, so we actually called the volunteer meeting short. If there were questions, we'd be able to answer questions. We don't have to hold people here.
So I answered when you
Just
talked about drop off.
Oh, gotcha. There was one thing, if you are having someone drop you off at the race, you can drop your runner at Hill. You can have your person drop you at Hillcrest Chapel, and you can walk across. It's a quick, just across across Old Fairhaven Parkway on 14th Street, and that takes you right on the inner urban, and you'll pop up right where the race start is in Fairhaven Park. So we ask people to get dropped off at Hillcrest. We have somebody here, a runner that's here. Monica, 2 runners that are here. Joint person at Wander. And what's your name? Martin. Right on. Have you run it before? I know she's run it before. Oh wait, I ran into you on the course the other day. I was like, oh, perfect. How many times have you run it? She doesn't know. We'll have to double check.
I just wanted to say hi.
Hi, are you heading back out? Awesome.
That was you.
Yes. No, yeah. Here, you can take for a second.
okay.
I'll mute myself so you don't have to hear me.
All right, everybody. Any other questions? If not, we'll call that a call and see you guys in a couple of weeks. All right. Take care, everybody.